Alright guys, you're back with Red Wolf Pack 1, and today I'm stepping outside our typical realm, sort of stepping outside our comfort zone of bass fishing, and I'm going to discuss some ideas and general techniques which have generated success for me concerning pan fishing. You know, fishing for species such as crappie or bluegill, etc. So, feel free to comment on this and present any ideas or techniques that I may not have covered specifically in this video. So with that said, let's get into some pan fishing. Alright, pan fishing technique number 1 is the Rooster Tail. For those of you who don't know, a Rooster Tail is something led by some sort of spoon, which is followed by a tube-like body, or, well, in this case it's tube-like, but there are variations on that. And then you'll generally have a feather, and all of that is trailed by a treble hook. And these come in a few different kinds. You can see the ones on the left are all a little less natural with the stripes, tiger stripes, and then the polka dots. And then you'll get the ones on the right, which look more like the bait fish that the panfish will be consuming. And you can see in this particular one, you can almost see the scales in the blue section, and then you get the eye, which is a really nice feature. That comes in a few different colors with the blue, and then you can get purple. Any of these different kinds should work for you. The brim aren't too picky about how you fish them. I would say you could fish them however you like, really. Different speed, try out different speed, see what works for you. I've seen people straight reel them almost like crankbaits and just let the spoons go to work. Or you could work it sort of like a trick worm or a jerk bait, anything that pleases you. Just try them out and let me know how these work for you. A second of my favorite techniques for pan fishing is just fishing little panfish jigs. What you can do is just take a jig head like this one here, which is just a weight with an attached hook to it. In this case it's really colorful, that's why I like that one. Or you can take a more simple one, just plain white with a black eye, and you can just take a tube and slide that onto your jig head, and that'll do the trick, just for demonstration purposes. That's how you go about that. Or if you want to be really simple, just take a hook, tie that onto your line, put a tube on that, and if you want some extra weight, you can always add a split shot weight like that, and it'll just clamp onto your line. That's a pretty good investment. These come in a few different types of tubes, sort of like a swim bait with that paddle tail, as you can see. Or you can get more like a streamer tail. There are about 10 different streamers on the end of that one. And if you're willing to spend a little more money, I would recommend to you a pre-made jig. In this case, it's bright yellow. It's got a really nice cloth tube-like structure to it with the feathery tail. Or this one's almost like a rooster tail, but I like to fish it like a jig. Really nice sparkles. That spoon adds some nice color to it. Will catch a fish's eye. And with these, I would say fish them like a plastic worm, which you would do for bass mostly, and fish them like that without letting them sit, I would say, because panfish are really likely to strike out of reaction with less thought than a bass would. So try out those techniques. A third of my favorite pan fishing techniques is small crankbaits. These crankbaits are smaller, of course, than most bass crankbaits that you would think of. These can still be used for bass, as you can see. Not a bad size for bass. You can see they have little treble hooks on them, just like a normal crankbait would. This one's probably more designed for pan fishing. It's really small. That's just a little rebel right there. And these are good for fishing in water, specifically with panfish and bass. You can catch both because of their size. And I would fish them pretty much at a slow to medium speed. You can either jerk them or straight reel them, whichever pleases you, and let me know how you do. A fourth pan fishing idea that I want to offer to you would be swim baits. You might generally think of these as bass lures, but I like these small ones for pan fishing too. That treble hook on the bottom is really nice. I really like this one because it almost looks like a minnow that the panfish might be chasing near the banks. I see that a lot. You also get that other variation. You can just put a hook on that, or this kind has a hook on top. Of these three, I still like the one on the bottom because of the treble hooks, but these two right here are both very realistic looking, so I would try any of those out. A fifth and final idea that I want to offer you, try out some flies, if nothing else works. Flies don't have to be used necessarily with fly fishing equipment. You can always just tie it on your line, maybe add a weight if your rod and reel aren't light enough. If you don't have that fly fishing equipment, I know it can run kind of expensive, so we do this in some of our creek fishing videos. Check that out and try it out for yourself.